Well, at least one child is dying from malnutrition every 2 hours in Sudan's Zamzam camp. That is according to medical charity MSF, Médecins Sans Frontières. Zamzam is one of the largest and oldest camps for displaced people in the country. The conflict in Sudan is ongoing. Heavy fighting broke out between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary rapid support forces in April, if you remember, of last year. And the Darfur region has been particularly impacted by rampant violence. While the UN says more than 6 million people have been displaced inside Sudan, another 1.5 million have fled, as you can see there on that map, to neighbouring countries, and that includes Chad. UNICEF spokesperson James Elder joins me now from Adra in Chad. He has a responsibility for speaking on humanitarian crisis across the globe. James, great to see you. Welcome back to the show. I mean, that horrific statistic that we just mentioned there to our viewers, one child dying from malnutrition every 2 hours, that is just hard to comprehend. Just tell us what you have seen on the ground.
Well, hi, Íza. Look, exactly. You have these mind-boggling numbers of children with that most severe acute form of malnutrition, the type that will kill a child. You have the world's highest number of children displaced here. Health systems on the verge of collapse. So there is a clock ticking until we have this absolutely epic loss of life, and that is why there's a massive attempt to get as much aid as we possibly can through these borders. I was in Darfur again today. I mean, Íza, I was in Darfur 20 years ago, and I still can hear those stories women told me of rape, the stories of children being killed. Those little girls 20 years ago are mothers now. They are the same mothers I speak to with these horrendous stories of what they've endured, of homes being burned, of rapes and so forth. I mean, I think we have to move away from this idea that atrocities are some inevitable aspect of war. They are not. They are, of course, terrible decisions made by leaders. So, Íza, what I've seen is villages and entire communities emptied, this eerie sense of just no one there because they have been burnt and looted out of their homes again.
Yeah, and look, we were just showing viewers some of the photos from you and some of the kids, surrounded by kids, really lovely photos on the ground. But, you know, these women and children are heavily, James, dependent on food, support for food, healthcare, right, as well as clean water. But this has been in short supply. Is that because, I mean, I wonder, of security concerns, bureaucracy? What's the reason for this?
I think both those things. I think one thing UNICEF and the United Nations broadly has been pushing for is get rid of these bureaucratic impediments. I mean, the idea that we are seeing atrocities, we are seeing denial of water, I've seen water systems that communities have put up with 100 solar panels, all simply destroyed. As a woman said to me, Íza, that everything gets looted, and that they don't loot, they burn. Now, communities are attempting to rebuild everything they possibly can, but this is a moment they need international support from those who have the power to stop these atrocities, and international support to keep getting aid in. So we're bringing 10,000 more cartons of nutritional food. That's 10,000 more children. But we need to triple that, to quadruple that. So it's bureaucratic impediments. It's security. I've gone into Darfur every day for the last few days, and I have to come out at night time. That's maddening. People have to sleep there. We have to return. This needs to be fixed. We need to stop the conflict, but again, we can't stop conflict. So at least let's make sure whoever controls territory get aid to people, allow us to get aid to people.
And I heard one humanitarian official on the ground saying, you know, that she felt that the people of Sudan had been completely abandoned. Is that your feeling?
Yeah, I mean, look, here we are, Íza. You again, raised the light on places. I do feel I know people feel that, and I think they're right. I think the world's gaze has moved so far away from here. And there's a pragmatic reason why that is so wrong. There's a moral reason, of course, because a child is a child and they are suffering greatly here. But we are not just talking about the potential loss of so many lives. I have met, Íza, dozens of children in the last week, 20-year-olds who just were born in those last massacre of 20 years ago. They studied engineering, they studied medicine, they studied economics. They are this vibrant force, desperate to be a part of their communities. And as one said to me, I simply cannot dream, James. I cannot dream here. So it's one thing that we are threatened with this catastrophic loss of life. We cannot lose this generation, this opportunity of a generation who have an education. That's why they feel forgotten. And to a degree they are. That's why we are trying again to sound alarm bells on their behalf.